Connecticut is now the only state in the country that requires service industries with at least 50 employees to offer paid sick days. After an 11-hour debate, the House passed the bill at 3 o'clock Saturday morning with a 76-65 vote. The governor says he is looking forward to signing the bill. So what does this mean for Connecticut employees and business owners and the state of Connecticut? Here with me this morning to talk a little bit about this very controversial bill is radio host Lisa Wexler. Good to see you again, Lisa.
Hi, Logan. Good morning.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the pros and cons. Want to first talk about the pros, why this is important for workers?
Well, the reason it was important for workers, this is a very big part of a pro-union checklist of legislation that they have wanted for a very long time. They feel that this is service workers, waitresses and waiters, frontline employees, nursing home aides, things like that, people that are generally not paid that much compared to other people. They are paid hourly, and they felt it was a question of fairness. They also felt it was a question of public health. They didn't want people that were sick, that are serving you food, or that are with elderly people, for example, to have to go to work when they really ought to be staying home.
The idea is that they would probably be going to work even if they're sick because they don't get paid that much money.
Yes.
They could sure take a sick day, but they're not going to get paid, and now they're coughing near you, and now they're getting everybody else
That's
sick.
the argument.
So the argument against this is that this is now the government again getting involved in people's businesses, right? And Connecticut we're trying to do everything we can to bring businesses here, to keep businesses here, and now here's one more thing that's going to hamper maybe a small business. Now they're going to have to pay these people when they're sick.
Right. I spoke to Pat O'Neill, who is the communications director for the Republicans in the House, and he had a whole checklist of reasons why he thought this was bad. He said that Connecticut is trying to argue that they are open for business. This makes Connecticut out of business. He feels it makes us out of step with the rest of the country. As you noted, only Washington, D.C. and San Francisco have this right now. And he feels that this will create a disincentive for businesses that might have gone past 50, but if they know they have to pay sick leave, maybe they'll stay at 48 or 49 and hire the rest part-time.
Or if they've got 52, maybe they let a couple of them
go. That's what he said.
And then do the part-time.
And he's particularly concerned because these are restaurants and these are these kind of businesses.
And what about the situation? Let's take a restaurant and maybe they've got 8 wait staff on that Saturday night. Somebody calls in sick and the restaurant doesn't want to pay another person to come in, so they just let the remaining 7 work more tables just does it that way. And now if you're at that restaurant, maybe you're not getting the kind of service that you would have gotten had they not had the paid sick day.
It's $500 per infraction for an employer. Yeah. So the Republicans argue that this gives employees something that they can go to complain about against employers, that in front of the Labor Relations Board in Connecticut, that they will get a more than fair hearing and will most likely be something that they can do to make employers incur unnecessary legal fees, et cetera, to defend themselves. Now, on the other side, I will say that I spoke with a Democrat who voted against Malloy's budget. He considers himself a moderate Democrat, but he voted for this legislation. While he respected the arguments of the business lobby, particularly the CBIA, he felt that the claims that this would put Connecticut out of business were exaggerated. This affects 200 to 400,000 employees in Connecticut. He felt it was worth trying to do, and that's why he voted for the legislation.
When the legislation was originally put forward, it encompassed, I think, everybody.
Yes, a lot more people.
And so then they scaled it back to just the service workers.
Yes.
And that gave them the argument that said, hey, we don't want service workers who are sick serving you food, so you'll get sick. But I wonder if now that they've got this law, Malloy's going to sign it, will it somehow broaden later to all of the other workers? Maybe you're a laborer or something. You know, you're laying concrete or something.
I agree with you, Logan. It's a foot in the door.
Yeah, it's a foot in the door.
I agree with you.
We'll get in now and then we'll expand it later.
I do. And again, the Republicans' big picture, forest for trees, they see that Governor Malloy came in with a very small margin compared to other governors in the past, the smallest margin in something over 50 years. They feel that he is beholden to the union interests, that giving them in the budget the 4-year no layoff, the extension of health benefits till 2022, and this meant that the unions really got what they bargained for in voting for Governor Malloy.
The cap is 5 sick days per year, too.
5 sick days per year.
Stops at some point.
Yes.
Lisa, good to see you.
Thank you, Logan.
Thanks so much. Let's remind everybody that you can listen to Lisa on the radio Monday through Friday, 4 to 6, 1400 WSTC and 1350 WNLK. Lisa Wexler.
Thanks, Logan.
All right. Who are we sending over?